Hello everyone and welcome back to the Ryan Retro channel. In today's video I'm going to be reviewing this QRD Vortex F5 handheld that was kindly sent to me by the guys at QRD. I'll be using my traffic light system, showing the things that I really like about it in green, the things I think could be improved a little bit in yellow, and the things that I really just don't like in red. So let's kick off with the green things first of all, and that is that the overall device is just very comfy. You can probably see the nice grips it has all around it that really help with the ergonomics. It has nice big chunky curvy grips on each side that just make it really nice to hold in the hands. Combined with the fact it's only about 300 grams, so it's nice and light, this is one of the most comfortable handhelds I've ever used. It also has the analog sticks in what I believe is the best position, with the left analog stick up at the top and the right analog stick down at the bottom. I find this very comfortable coming from a background of a lot of Xbox gaming, and this has those sticks in that position. They are also Hall effect sticks, and when you look at the advertising for this console, the sticks are probably the most advertised feature, and they are really nice. I have to say, these sticks are by far the most pleasant controls the device has, because not all these controls are actually good, which we will talk about later. So when you pick up the QRD Vortex F5, you'll first of all feel those nice grips and nice stick placement, and as you browse through the library, it actually comes with an incredible 20,000 plus games. Let's go into the Game Boy section, for example, and we can just scroll and scroll and scroll through games here. One thing I also really like is that it does have box art for pretty much every game that comes with it. So it's a really nice, seamless experience, especially for somebody who maybe doesn't have too much experience putting something like this together for themselves. I do know included games is kind of a hot button issue where some people are really against included games. But I think for a device like this, it's aimed at the kind of person who's not going to do it by themselves and just wants to pick something up that's pre-configured. So if you are part of that audience, I think it was made with you in mind. Here's another example. Here's a SNES library, and once again, we can just scroll and scroll and scroll through all of the games and play whatever we want to play. The included 22,000 game library is definitely one of its best features. The front end it comes with is EmuElec. It looks very similar to Emulation Station. It may even be based on Emulation Station. It's been many years since I researched EmuElec. And we have a few different themes we can choose between, like this Nintendo Switch styled one. This one that's apparently a PlayStation style, but it's basically just that Nintendo Switch one upside down. Look at this.
What's that?
The handheld comes with 2 videos, and I'm now quite worried to see what they are. Oh, it's just an advertisement for the handheld. And the second one is an Alan Walker music video. Well, massive disappointment there. The one that I like to use is this Art Pie theme, and I've been trying to track it down and find it for my other devices, because I find this really nice and easy to just jump between systems and jump into a game. And that really is the greatest benefit of this console. It's so quick and easy to just jump into a game. Whether you're scrolling along to the console you'd like to play, scrolling down to your game and choosing it, pressing Y to bring up a global search. We could search for something like FIFA, and that will show us all of our FIFA games. Or if we like something, we can hold down X, this little star will appear next to it, and it'll be added to our favorites, which we can access through here and go through all of our favorites and play through those. So it's a really nice little operating system in a nice, comfortable package. It also has really nice battery life with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, and you'll mostly be playing lower end systems on here. Here is Sonic 2 on the Genesis, one of my favorite games to pick up and play when I only have a few minutes to play through something. And pretty much every game that comes bundled with this system has widescreen enabled, so they all fill up the screen very nicely. And with the handheld having box art and thumbnails for pretty much every game, I find myself trying out a lot more games that I wouldn't with other systems. Just before I was going to sit down and make this video, I thought I'd try out FIFA 2005, as maybe I could include some clips of it in the video. And I ended up playing it for so long, the sun has begun setting outside. It's just really fun to pick up and play a new game. I'm finding this game really fun, because Thierry Henry's in the game, and he's basically just a complete cheat code. You just give Henry the ball and start running. You just start sprinting and nobody can catch you. There's also a dedicated foul button where you can just wipe out the goalkeeper or anyone at any time, which is something I really wish they'd keep in modern games. It's so funny to just keep doing these horrific tackles. I've set up some shortcuts for loading games, saving games, and fast forwarding games, so it's really easy to jump into a game from any system. So if, for example, we want to jump into Who Wants to Be a Millionaire on the Game Boy Advance, we just go into the game, hold that select or menu key and tap L1, and I'm straight back into my quizzing. Then if I want to quit out of this game, I just hit select and start 2 times, like with many other gaming systems. I can then jump back into another game, for example, straight back into that FIFA game we were playing a second ago. Once again, hold select and press L1, and I'm straight back into my game of football. This is something you can do on very many different handheld systems, but the whole interface here is just really nice, quick, and fluid. So while they were the green lights, the things that I liked about this, what do I not like so much? Well, let's go into the yellow lights now and jump into this game of Crazy Taxi to kick it off. As we get into this game of Crazy Taxi, you might be able to notice the performance is not that good. It's a bit choppy. Dreamcast is not perfectly playable on here, so my first yellow light relates to the power of the device. It's really not a very powerful device at all, which might be expected due to the quite low price tag, which is something we'll talk about again soon. But given the size of the device, the 5.5-inch screen, the nice big grips, and the analog Hall effect joysticks, I wish we had a bit more power to really take advantage of this great analog stick placement. It's kind of the opposite problem to the Retroid Pocket 5 that has all the power to play Switch games and PC games on it, but is set up in a D-pad centric layout. Here we have nowhere near as much power, yet we have this really great analog stick layout. I really wish these two were just combined with each other in Switch layouts. So the first yellow light here is it's just not very powerful. And you're really looking at PlayStation 1 games and some PSP at a push as the maximum you're going to get out of this. This is more geared towards those older retro systems. I'd say the screen is also a yellow light. It's actually a pretty good screen, a 720p IPS panel. We've just been so spoiled with the likes of the Retroid Pocket 5 and other Retroid and AYN Odin devices lately that it is a noticeable step down. Once again, it's quite a bit cheaper than those devices, so it's definitely not a bad screen. It's just one I wish was a little bit better. And if I was feeling generous, I might even be able to give this a green light. Something I definitely cannot give a green light to are these face buttons. They feel mostly okay, they're definitely not terrible, but they have a habit of sometimes getting stuck. Sometimes when I'm playing a lot of games and pushing the buttons a lot, they actually almost get stuck inside the shell, especially this A button over here. I'll put my mic up to this so you can hear it more clearly, but once you push it down, it doesn't just cleanly come up again, it kind of has a little bit of resistance before coming back up. The B button is fine, so let's show an example that works well. But the A button has resistance and you hear an almost double click. Hopefully that was noticeable on the microphone. It's definitely noticeable when you feel it. As we look through and admire all the lovely artwork of the games, you might notice some of them don't have any box art. And that's because those are games I added myself. Now, I could add my own box art because I do have it floating around somewhere on other devices, but wouldn't it be great to just scrape box art like we do in Emulation Station and lots of other devices by opening up the main menu and coming down here to Scraper, where we can download all of the missing box art. Well, unfortunately, this doesn't have any Wi-Fi, so we can't do that. And as far as I know, there's no way of expanding it, maybe by adding it into a port or anything like that. We just cannot use Wi-Fi on this at all, which is a real shame. The speakers are also not very good. They're not terrible, but they're just kind of cheap sounding. And the worst part about them is they're down here. Speakers down here that get covered by your hands when you hold the device. The placement is just really not good. I wish they were on the front, and I think even being on the back would be preferable to firing down towards your belly and being smothered by your hands. So the speakers are definitely not very good here. Also, this is kind of a side nitpick that I'm not going to assign a color to, but the volume down and volume up buttons are reversed. The right-sided one goes down and the left-sided one goes up. You can see it denoted here with the little symbols on them, but who does this? I don't think I've ever had a device before where this is up and this is down. It just seems so unnatural. One feature that they advertise about this product is the ability to be able to connect it by mini HDMI to an HDMI monitor or a TV, which would be a great use case to jump through all of these thousands of games on your TV. But unfortunately, it doesn't work for me. I tried so many times with multiple TVs and I couldn't get it to recognize whatsoever. QRD on their own website say you need to connect the cable and then restart your TV or switch inputs and then switch it back again. And I tried all of those things, it simply wouldn't work for me. Maybe I need to try a new cable, but this cable works fine for other devices, so I think it's just a bit finicky, which is a shame. And if you could connect the HDMI, it would be nice to then maybe connect a Bluetooth controller. But that's again not supported on here, or at least in my testing, I couldn't get it to work. One thing you can do here is, you may have noticed there's two USB-C ports. One of them is for charging, and the other one you can connect a USB-C controller to. I think the idea is that you dock this with the HDMI cable, if it works for you, then you connect a USB-C type controller and then play with that. I did test that out just to see if it works, and I'm at least happy to say that did work. I could connect a controller via USB-C, and it worked completely fine. But without being able to connect this by HDMI, that was kind of pointless. The next red light, the next thing I don't like about this product is it doesn't support fast charging, which in 2025 sounds unbelievable. Once again, it's quite a budget device, but other devices around this price point do support fast charging. I have this fast charger I'm using for pretty much all my devices these days, whether it's my phone, my AirPods, my Retroid Pockets, my Steam Deck, my Portal. It works with everything. But when you connect it to the QRD Vortex, you get nothing at all. And even on the official website for this, they say it doesn't support fast charging. So I have no choice but to connect an older USB cable. I think this one's actually from my Elgato Stream Deck. It's a much less powerful charger that will support this device, but it's just annoying. It means I have to have this laying around only for this. So I really wish they would support fast charging. And the final red light of this device has to be these triggers. They are really uncomfortable. They're kind of Nintendo Switch style, digital style triggers, not analog style where you can adjust how much acceleration you get in a game or something like that. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is they just feel so cheap and plasticky, and they make a springy sound when you click them. I'll put the microphone up to the triggers and listen to the sound they make. I'll also compare them to the triggers of the Retroid Pocket 5. It's not a completely fair test because these are analog triggers, but I think this is a device a lot of my audience will be familiar with. Let's quickly bring in the girlfriend test.
Hi.
Can you just push this trigger down and listen to the sound it makes, and what does it feel like?
Oh, smooth.
Smooth? Okay, now try this one. Feel this trigger and listen to the sound this makes. What does it feel like?
Cheap.
It feels very cheap,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Sorry.
So I've been using this for the past month, and I do enjoy picking it up, kicking back on the sofa, and really simply jumping into some games. You know, it's comfortable, it feels nice, and it plays games up to around PlayStation 1 or maybe a little bit before pretty well. But I keep asking, who is this actually for? Because in the price range, it's a very saturated market. You've got things like the TrimUI Brick and the TrimUI Smart Pro that are actually cheaper than this. They're around $50, and this is around $75. So does it justify being more than those? In my opinion, no, it doesn't. I don't think it should be more expensive than the TrimUI options, as they have so many custom firmwares available at this point. They're so solid, and the TrimUI Brick is probably still my favorite, like pound for pound device out there. So I'm really just trying to think, what are the good points you get for your money? Well, you do get that huge game library. Once again, it's something that not everybody likes. People like to create their own game library, and there are piracy concerns and things like that. But you know, there's just a huge market out there of people who don't know anything about this and want to just buy something pre-configured and play it. And if you were one of those people, then this is going to fit the bill quite nicely, because with 22,000 games for $75, I ran a few calculations, and when I was checking out the price a couple of weeks ago, it was at $80. And 22,000 games for $80 means for every $1 you spend, you get 2,747 games. So in that regard, if you're part of that target market, that's a pretty good deal. And again, it's comfortable, it has a good battery life, the screen's fine, the sticks are nice. You just have to put up with things like the triggers and the face buttons not really being the best. So guys, let me know what you thought about it in the comments. If you would like to buy one, I will put the link in the description to the official store on AliExpress. I don't get anything if you buy one. It's not an affiliate link or anything like that. I'll just put it there for your convenience. It's a console that I wouldn't have bought myself, but I do find myself playing it often, and throughout the past month, even though I have a Steam Deck, I have the Retroid Pocket 5, the Flip 2, the Classic, I have the Retroid Pocket Mini, I have the Odin 2 Portal, I do find myself reaching for this quite often. If I do want to just pick something up quickly, play a simple old retro game on a nice comfortable device and put it away again, it is really good for that purpose, and it also has a great battery life. So it does have its place. In my opinion, it just needs to be quite a bit cheaper. I'd love to know what you think about this in the description of the video. Please let me know. Please Please also give me a like, even if you didn't like the product, and subscribe because it really helps out the channel so much. Thank you so much everyone once again for watching. And if you check out my beacons link in the description, you can join my Discord, my Patreon, and check out my affiliate links that I do have for other systems. So thank you once again for watching. Thank you QRD for sending this over, and I'll see you all again tomorrow for another video. Bye!